For thousands of years, people have looked up at the sky and down at the earth and wondered, what is the shape of the world we live on? Today, we take it for granted that the earth is round. But was it always so obvious? Join us as we travel through time to uncover the history behind one of humanity's most important questions. Is the earth really round or not? Let's rewind over 2,500 years ago. In ancient times, many civilizations believed the earth was flat. Why? Simple observation. The land looks flat. The oceans seem to stretch endlessly, and no one had seen the earth from space, of course. The ancient Mesopotamians, Egyptians, and early Chinese cultures often described the earth as a flat disk, floating in an ocean or held up by pillars. But then came the Greeks. In the 6th century BCE, a philosopher named Pythagoras proposed that the earth might be spherical. His idea was based on the belief that the sphere was the most perfect shape. However, he didn't have hard proof, just a hunch. Then came Aristotle, in the 4th century BCE, who observed that during a lunar eclipse, the Earth's shadow on the moon was always round. That could only happen if the Earth itself was spherical. One of the most amazing ancient experiments came from Eratosthenes, a Greek mathematician and librarian in Egypt. Around 240 BCE, he heard that in a city called Syene, modern-day Aswan, the sun was directly overhead at noon during the summer solstice. But in Alexandria, hundreds of miles north, it wasn't. So Eratosthenes measured the angle of the sun's shadow in Alexandria. It was about 7.2 degrees. He knew the distance between the two cities and used simple geometry to calculate the Earth's circumference. His result? About 40,000 kilometers. Modern science says it's roughly 40,075 kilometers, so Eratosthenes was incredibly close. This was strong evidence. Not only is the Earth round, but we can measure it. Now here's where things get interesting. Many people believe that during the Middle Ages, people thought the Earth was flat. But that's actually a myth. Most educated Europeans in the medieval period, especially scholars in the Church, accepted the Earth was round, based on the writings of Aristotle and Ptolemy. So where did the flat Earth in the Middle Ages myth come from? It became popular in the 1800s, when some writers exaggerated the ignorance of the past to make scientific progress look more dramatic. One of the most famous examples is the story of Christopher Columbus. People say he tried to prove the Earth was round, but in truth, most scholars already believed that. The real debate was over how big the Earth was and whether Asia could be reached by sailing west. In the 16th century, more solid proof came from exploration and astronomy. Ferdinand Magellan's expedition famously sailed all the way around the world between 1519 and 1522. They left Spain, crossed the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, and returned home from the other side. This global journey provided practical, undeniable proof. The Earth is round. Later, scientists like Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton refined our understanding. Newton even showed that Earth wasn't a perfect sphere, but an oblate spheroid, slightly squashed at the poles and bulging at the equator due to its rotation. In the 20th century, photographs from space ended the debate for good. Astronauts aboard Apollo missions saw Earth as a beautiful blue marble, floating in the void. Yet surprisingly, some people today still believe in a flat Earth. Why? Mostly due to conspiracy theories and mistrust in science. But we now have overwhelming evidence, from satellites, space missions, GPS technology, and global airline routes, that only make sense on a round Earth. So, is the Earth round? Yes. The journey to that truth took centuries of thought, debate, and discovery. From ancient philosophers to modern astronauts, the quest to understand our planet has united science, curiosity, and courage. Next time you see the horizon or a sunset, remember, you're standing on the surface of a giant spinning sphere floating through space. And that's not just beautiful, it's true.